Okay, so welcome back to another series on this one. So we're gonna build some sounds. So this is actually the continuation of the series of the June B6B, and we're gonna take everything we learned and we're gonna make some, a little bit of sound design. Now, I always like to do this in context of a genre, or maybe again some style, or just make it, make the sounds by using a vibe, working with a vibe. And I'm using this kind of a synthwave vibe, which is what I'm doing lately. And maybe, I don't know, tomorrow, maybe a different day, or maybe in the next month, I'm going to go and do a different style just because, I can, let's say. So, okay, I'm going to go and do play, and it's going to sound like crap. This is what we need to achieve, of course, in a good way. So all the patches we have right here are using the template. So we have a bass, a pad, some arps, some effects, and then an ambient, which is, I wouldn't say ambient, it's kind of like a drone atmospheric brass, let's say. So we're gonna go and I'm gonna go there and just show you how the snare and the kick sounds, which is pretty dumb, pretty dull. So now what we need to do is just make the bass work. And of course, we need to do a lot of work because this one sounds like a fart. Right. So let me just go back. I'm gonna go and open this one. And okay, so first, just to start, we need to decide what we're gonna do. I'm still gonna use the saw because it's a bass, and I'm gonna use a little bit of sub because again it's a bass. So we need a little bit of sub. So I'm gonna go maybe just there. Okay, that's fine. So as soon as I do this, this is gonna sound a little bit different. Notice we get much more subs. All right, so the next thing is going to be setting the filters, right? Because we have a lot of frequencies, high frequencies, and this, of course, is a bass. So I'm going to use the envelope for this, and I'm going to go and use this envelope. And for the out envelope, I'm going to use a gate. Okay, so of course, I'm going to go and gonna put maybe the frequency right here. And what we want to do with the envelope is just, move it on each, note that we play on the bass. Okay, so I'm gonna go and disable the coarse noise because right now it's just gonna be a little bit annoying if you turn it on. So okay, so I'm gonna go there. Maybe I'm gonna go here to the gate, and we're gonna kind of make it smaller. So right now it's just too long, So I'm gonna go there, and instantly we get that bass. Maybe again it's still too long. Much better. Now it sounds like a bass. You know how easy it's just to get a sound with this. You can do the keyboard. In this case, gonna leave it out. And you know what? And I could have I'm gonna feel good about this. It just sounds the way I want right from the start. Now remember, this one is a very simple synth, so maybe there. So on the advanced, I believe we are not going to do anything because we don't need to. If we wanted to, we could add a little bit of maybe delay, like a minimum delay, but it's a bass, should be very in the center. So maybe a little bit of reverb to provide a little bit of depth. But instead of doing this, I'm not going to do it from here. I'm going to go and use some Saturn. I have it right there. So I'm going to use a little bit of a saturation. And notice how different it sounds. And I'm not doing anything, I'm just, kind of using the default. So this is gonna kind of make a nice blend with all the peaks. Just chopping peaks, that's pretty much what we are doing. You're easing and smoothing everything. Now it still sounds very raw to me, so when I'm gonna do a chorus, and I'm gonna use the dimension D for this. And I don't want to, turn this into and maybe it's too much, the chorus. It's too wide, and this is a bass. Sometimes you want this. In this case, it's not what I want. I just, want to do a little bit. Just to make it bigger. That's it. Just a little bit. And without all of this, it sounds very raw. Much better. Now, of course, we need a sidechain because we need to get that synthwave kind of a movement with the kick and everything else. Yeah, pretty standard at this point. And there you go. That's the bass sound. Of course, we can maybe add more things. We need compression. I will use compression right here. I could add a little bit of reverb just to add a little bit more depth. A room reverb, a very short room reverb. But the chorus dimension D, it's already kind of giving me that little bit of depth. So I'm gonna just leave it in. Okay, so the next one is going to be the path. So if I go to the path, of course we need to fix this. So okay, I'm gonna go right here to the paths. And I'm trying to do this as fast as I can, because if I stop and explain everything I do on each of the tracks, each of the sounds, this video is going to take like an hour or a little bit more. So I don't want that. I don't want a 1 hour video. So okay, so I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to be using a template. I'm using the default template, but I'm using some guidelines on the sounds I made earlier. I feel like this is faster for me to explain. So okay, so I'm gonna go right here. So we are already on polyphonic. So maybe we can, maybe go to the bass and something I didn't try. Let me just go to the bass again. I'm gonna do play. All right, okay, well, now the bass sounds massive, which is something I like, it sounds much better. Let's see without. Oh, of course, no, unison, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna go back and we're gonna do the pads right now. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go, it's definitely, I'm gonna use unison right there. And okay, so let's go to the pads. I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna go and use the sawtooth, why not? I'm gonna do a sub, a little bit of sub, not too much. And I'm gonna use this one just to get a different vibe. And just with a little bit of, pulse width modulation. And I'm going to do a little bit of LFO so we can detune the frequency of this one. And let's see how it sounds right now. Okay, so we have a problem with the envelopes as well. So I'm going to go and use the filter with the envelope. And again, this is kind of a pad, so we need to kind of provide a slow introduction to the sound. I'm going to do a little bit of resonance just for fun. And now, when the sound enters, if we can hear it, now let me just start from the beginning. Of course, we get nothing. Okay, so let's do a little more and see if we get something. Maybe I'm disabling this. Oh, I'm using the wrong instrument, right? No, I'm on the right place. Okay, so let me see what I did. So we are doing this, we are doing that. Maybe it's too much of the frequencies. Yeah, it's too much of the frequencies. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and we're gonna try to move it with this. I'm gonna go provide a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and I'm gonna go to the envelope. This is what I forgot to do. Well, let's do play. So we get that wow. That's what I want. That classic sound, maybe a little bit more release. All right, I kind of like that. I'm gonna do a little bit of chorus. It's gonna give us instant magic. Now, we were using the same envelope for everything, so I'm gonna go to the envelope number 2 and control the amp with the envelope number 2. All right, so I want a big release. I want to sustain the note right there at the top. And I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna provide a little bit of attack, a little bit of decay. All right, for now, this is cool. Yeah, okay, I like that. That sweeping. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna go there. We have the envelope. What else? What else we can do? Maybe we could do a little bit of LFO on this one. Gonna go to LFO. Now, of course, it's too much. I'm gonna do the sync. And maybe... Well, I kind of like it, but it starts right away. And I want the sound, maybe to the pads to start, and then, ramp up to the LFO, which is something we can easily do with this synth. Yeah, I like it. Now, remember, this is a pad, so it's gonna go way at the back. Maybe a little bit more subs. Alright, a little bit more this. And okay, I believe we are fine. Maybe a little bit less if LFO is just too much. Yeah. Alright, so now one thing that you need to do to be aware of is the chorus noise. This one is going to give you noise, so later if you compress all of this and you start, just kind of squashing, this noise is going to be very annoying. So I always like to turn it off if I can. So okay, so what else can we do? Let's go right here. I'm going to do a little bit of reverb. Let me do the play. And the reverb is going to kind of move it. Yeah, it's just moving it to the back. A little bit of delay. Alright, I like that. Now, this one needs a side chain. Okay, so I'm gonna go and do the side chain. Much better. Another thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna split it and do a stereo because I want this on the sides. So I'm gonna go do the stereo trick with a delay, with the one, and we kind of I did this many times on this channel, so I'm gonna do no feedback, all mix, no cutting at all, and then just go milliseconds. And remember, 10 and 20, it's fine. Beyond 20, it just goes crazy. I do like it. Now the bass could be bigger, and this is one thing I'm gonna tell you. This is just my opinion, all right? I like the Jun to do everything that it's not low frequencies. Yeah. If I have to do a bass, I would use something else, not the Jun. But again, we need to do everything with the Jun, so this is the challenge. So far, it sounds good, in my opinion. Could be much better with a lot of effects, compression, maybe a little bit of automation, some player, at the beginning. Just to add a bit more, cohesion. For now, it's just cool. Let's go to the ARPs. So I'm gonna go to the ARPs and let's see how it sounds. So that's the ARP. All right, so of course we need to do this much better. So I'm gonna close this and I'm gonna go and open the ARP. So okay, so the ARP should be very straightforward because the whole synth is very straightforward. So I'm gonna start with a sub, do a little bit of sub. Now at the end of the day, whenever you do a track, then you're gonna need to chop the lows and chop the things you don't need. That's something that you always need to do. Maybe I'm gonna do a little bit of LFO. Maybe there, 1/8 is fine. And I'm going to do a little bit of movement there. Just a little bit of movement. All right, so let's see how it sounds. All right, so gives us what we want. Or what I want, at least. Okay, so of course, much better. It just changes the sound completely. A little bit more subs. I'm gonna do a little bit of chopping down because we are gonna go to the envelope. I'm gonna go maybe to the gate. This one is gonna control the amp. And we're gonna make it shorter. Just kind of a plucky sound. Maybe a little bit of attack. And now it sounds good, but it's too short. So I'm gonna go. We can make it much bigger, of course. This is completely up to you. And one thing I'm going to try is just to do the unison. I like it much more, but it's too loud. Alright. So this one, it sounds good. I really like how it sounds. Maybe I'm going to go a little bit more. Now what I need from this one, it's of course the sidechain. I really need the sidechain just to make sure this is gonna fit. Now the sidechain is maybe too much. I'm gonna go, I'll let some frequencies pass. And now it's just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Now we can do more. I'm gonna go right here because right now, the ARP sounds good, but it's kind of in your face. So I want to move it just a little bit to the back. So I'm gonna do a little bit of delay. This is gonna wash harshness and move it to the back. And with a reverb, we're gonna do more. And now it's in the back. And I'm doing a lot. Notice that I'm doing a lot. And I'm not changing anything of this. I'm just using the default. Of course, if you want to try different values, that's fine. But if you ask me, it sounds like it should. Now let's bring the pads. Yeah. All right. Okay, I kind of like it. So I'm going to go to the effects number 1. And on this one, I'm going to do something different. We already know that the rest of the track sounds good. And it could be already at the start of the track. Right? That's what we are doing here. We are just building sounds and creating ideas. Though, of course, this is kind of not my idea. This came from a construction kit. And I changed some notes and I changed some things. But it's pretty much like that. I'm not going to use it on a track, of course. This is just to learn. I'm going to go and use just the effects. And I want to do something we didn't do so far, which is an effect. So if I play this, it's going to sound... Yeah, that's how it sounds. It's just a note. Just one single MIDI note. Right? That's it. So what I want to do is to convert this to a noise, a sound effect. And I'm going to make it shorter because if not, every time we do a loop, it's going to take forever to go back. And they're going to go there and just maybe put it there. All right, so if I play it, now we're going to get it more quickly. All right, so I'm going to go, and you know what? Maybe I'm going to make it more quickly. So I'm going to go there. There we go. So, okay, that's fine. It's a little bit annoying, but that's fine. So I'm going to go to the, right here. So, okay, so we need to create a sound effect. We could do a sound effect with anything. Now, in this case, I want to create a noise sound effect. So I'm going to go and turn off this. I'm going to go and go all the way up on the noise. It's going to sound a little bit, annoying. Because it's just a noise, right? It's just a noise. So I'm going to go and do a little bit of this. And maybe I'm going to use it. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. Maybe I could do it with the advanced tab. But let's do it with this. So, okay, so the noise right now is just kind of in full force, right? Then we have a little bit of flow that is going to do some movements, maybe 1/8. It's going to be fine. And I want to add a little bit of delay. So I want that noise like that, and then I want that movement. That's what I want. So, okay, so maybe I'm going to control the output with the gate. And I'm going to do a little bit of frequency. All right? I'm just chopping frequency. So, of course, noise, you get frequencies all over the spectrum. So if you chop the highs, you're going to get a very low noise. In this case, we get nothing. And I'm going to go to the envelope. And that's what we get. So I don't want, that sustain noise. I want to do just a little bit, just so we can get the right amount. Let me just go there. And that's okay for now. And a little bit of release. Okay. So the gate is going to control the amp, which is fine. And I'm going to go and do LFO. That's what I want. Now, of course, maybe we can take longer right here. But I feel like right here, right about here, it's fine. Let me just go up in volume this one. All right, so now we can really hear the movement. Now you can make this much longer if you wish, but remember that we are going to be adding delay and reverb, and that gives us a tail. Maybe I'm going to go and make it brighter. It's too much. Okay. Okay, so I feel that that's fine. Maybe it's too bright, but let's see what happens when we put a little bit of reverb. Yeah, so that's what I want. A little bit of tail. And I'm going to add a little bit of delay as well, so we can get that feedback. I'm going to make it the feedback longer. That's what I want. Now, I can feel like this is just too strong. Now, along with the track, again, this is a sound effect, so... yeah, it's very synthwave. Of course, I'm playing it on the wrong part, the wrong place right here, because we need to make this a little bit longer. And I'm going to be playing this right here. So we're going to go there and let's see how it sounds. All right, so that's fine. I'm going to go and lower the volume because this is a sound effect. Right now, it's just too loud. Yeah. It's just a dumb sound effect. That's what it does. All right. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do something very similar with the effects number 2. I'm going to go here. Let me just open this. And the effects number 2, I want to create the same kind of the same vibe with the noise, but I want to do it in a different way. So I'm going to go there, just turn it off. We kind of already did this. We're going to go to noise. In this case, I'm going to keep the LFO kind of off. I'm not going to use anything right here. I'm going to go to the same place. I'm going to leave this and just leave it off for now. Maybe we're going to use it, maybe not. I'm not sure. So, okay, so right now, let's see how it sounds. And we are not going to do much on this one. Now, what I need to do is this. I'm going to need to do something like this so we can get it faster. So I'm going to go do a play and just solo this. All right, so this is what we get. Now, I'm hearing a tone because I forgot to do this. Yeah, okay. But hopefully I didn't, just change this one. Right? No, I did it. Cool. Okay, so that's the sound. Now, of course, what I want to do, I want to provide a kind of a slow introduction to the sound. So I'm going to go and use the envelope. And notice we can hear this kind of a sliding to that amplitude. Then I'm going to go provide sustain. But at one point, I'm going to do a long release. So what I want to create is that a kind of a wave, the sound of a wave. Yeah, okay. So, of course, we need to do something else right here because it sounds pretty dumb. And I'm going to use this LFO and difference is the other one. So we're going to go to maybe here, 3/16, that's fine. And I'm going to do this one so we can get kind of a harsh movement. I'm going to keep it off because I want everything on the same spot. And I'm going to go and I'm going to just modulate the nose volume. I want the tremolo. That's what I want. Yeah. Now, of course, reverb. Alright, so the size is going to keep it the way I can be like it is. Now, I don't know if I want delay. It sounds fine, but it's just making everything kind of a super wide. And now it sounds a little bit annoying because we are looping the same section. And this one is something that needs to play at the end. And it will kind of decrease when we go to the next bar. It shouldn't be something that it's just, in your face. It's just something that should be in the background. So if I play it in context. And the clip starts over. That's what I want. I want that sound, that wave sound with a little bit of movement. All right. So again, it's just pretty simple thing to achieve. All right. So what I want to do now, I'm going to go to the amp, which is kind of a brass sound, let's say. So right now, what it does, it's just nothing. But it's just 2 notes, just 2 single notes. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this one because I didn't use it, and I'm gonna go to a sub noise. Notice I'm not using this one. I'm gonna go all the way on the up because this is gonna be just a low, very low thing that will sit at the bottom and give us kind of an atmosphere. I'm gonna go to the LFO, and now the pulse width is going to be LFOing. Let's say I made just a word, LFOing. So okay, I'm gonna go there. And kind of made that up. All right. So maybe I can do something like that. And let's just see what's going on. Just provide a little bit of motion right there. If I go way too much. just too much. Let me just go there. And just a little bit. I don't want a lot. Just want a little bit of modulation. Now, of course, it sounds massive, and this is not what I want. I'm gonna do a little bit of envelope and just go and bring this down. And I'm gonna keep the envelope right here. And that's what I want. I want low energy right here. But I don't want, notice it every time the note starts, it's just too harsh. And this is gonna be in the way of my kick and bass and everything else, so I don't want that. I want that, you know, attack. I'm gonna keep the sustain up and a little bit of release. Maybe it's too much sustain. I'm gonna do a little bit of chorus, and we got that low energy now. Let's see with the keyboard. I like it a little bit more. All right, so yeah, just low energy. What we want is low energy. I'm not even gonna bother doing some effects because this is gonna go very low in the track. But what I care about this one is doing a side chain. Just to remove it, you know, get it out of the way from the kick and everything else. Now, if I just do an unsolo, it's just too much. So it goes low. We can almost not hear this. But if I remove it, there's something missing. And now, of course, you need to be using some good headphones. I'm gonna go down to the effects, maybe. Even though I like them. Alright, so that said, again, we are not building a whole track. This, of course, building a whole track will just take much longer. And we need to do the arrangement and a lot of things that we are not really doing right here. But this could be, you know, the start of a track. And we did it all with the same plugin. Now with the same synth. Always the same synth. Now, in my opinion, whenever you build a track, you should avoid doing everything with the same synth, because even though this synth, it's very easy to use, it has a you know, an identity. It sounds like something. So if everything sounds like that something, then everything sounds kind of a little bit dull. In my opinion, whenever you start blending different sounds, you know, different synths or different, you know, maybe a sampler, something like that, that's when you get a better track. In this case, everything sounds the same to me, but that's fine. You know, this is what we are doing. We are just practicing. We are just building sounds. All right, so we are done. I'm gonna go move forward to the next one. I'm gonna do another one of these with just the different clips and, you know, just a different track, different sounds, and we're gonna build some other sounds. And again, remember, this is a series. So if you're watching this video and you're saying, "What is this dude doing?" It's because this is the last video, or maybe not the last one of the last videos of the series, where I talk and teach you how to use and teach you what all of these knobs, you know, do. So if you are a little bit lost and you want to learn how this works, you know, all the settings and everything else, go to that series and notice that this is on a playlist. So check that playlist, right? Now remember, all of these patches are going to be on Patreon if you do Patreon for this channel, and you're gonna get, of course, much, you know, some other things as well. But you're gonna get the patches from every little section I do. All right? Okay, so see you on the next one.